Hello everyone, and welcome to this demo of WattAtHome, our web application that helps you make sense of your electricity usage using green button data and your daily schedules. WattAtHome will also show you how much you can save by changing your electricity consumption when you're not at home. So let's open a browser window and enter the application's address, wattathome.uta.edu. As you see, the application loads with its dashboard and some forms already filled out with initial values. We'll look at them in a moment. What is special about WattAtHome is that it gives you the means, among other features, to break down your electricity usage between times when someone was home and times when no one was home. The idea is that you can use this detailed information to make decisions of how to lower your electricity consumption without changing your standard of living very much.
On the top left corner of the dashboard, we can describe residents for this household. In this example, we are assuming a family of three, two parents and a child, in Texas. So let's start by entering the name of the child, Camilla. WattAtHome uses the residents' daily schedules to give you a breakdown of electricity usage. In fact, it gives you the capability of entering a very accurate account of your presence at home by retrieving it from your Foursquare data, if you want to use this information. Foursquare is an online social network application similar to Facebook that allows you to check in to venues like a restaurant or a cafe, and then it tells you whether other friends are at the same location, as well as special deals being offered. With Foursquare, you can also set up your home venue and check into it every time you get home. So for Camilla, we enter the name she uses for her home in Foursquare and then load her Foursquare check-in data, which she retrieves from her Foursquare account. If you don't know how to retrieve the file with your Foursquare check-in data, check out the link to Foursquare data on the top of the web page for detailed instructions. Finally, we click Add Resident and her name shows up in the list of current residents.
We repeat the process for her mom, Lisa, who also happens to use Foursquare, and add her to the list of residents. Finally, we enter the details for her dad, who doesn't use Foursquare. For him, we enter the times at which he usually leaves and returns home during weekdays. In future versions of WattAtHome, this feature will be improved to account for more complex daily schedules. Now we have all three residents with their details listed here and can move on to load the electricity usage data. For that, we use the family's green button data, which they retrieved from their electric utility website. After we load the green button data, these are processed together with the residents' home presence data, whether they are Foursquare data or simple weekday schedules, and the results are shown on the web page. Let's take a look at them.
At the bottom right corner of the dashboard, we have the time chart with the hourly electricity usage for the household. This is useful to get a rough idea of the long-term consumption, but the more interesting information is presented in the other charts on the top. Under the title Usage, we have the breakdown of average electricity usage when someone is at home and when nobody is home for the most recent 3 weeks as well as the current week. This chart shows that this family is using quite a lot more electricity when nobody is home than when someone is home. This may be due to settings for the air conditioning that make it run during the day when nobody is home. The next piece of information are these three gauges. They tell us how we're doing in the current week compared to the average for the previous 3 weeks. This information is broken down for weekdays, weekend, and peak hours. Here you can see that the family is consuming some 13% more electricity during weekdays in the current week compared to the average for the previous 3 weeks.
The charts we have discussed so far give a view into past and current usage, but is there anything we can predict about the future? The 6 gauges in the top part of the screen under the title Forecast try to answer that question. Using these web forms, we can see what our monthly savings would be if we were to lower usage by different percentages in different situations. To use this chart, we first need to enter the electricity cost. In this area of Texas, electricity costs around 11 cents per kilowatt hour, so we'll enter that value. Later, we're going to improve WattAtHome in order to retrieve the actual cost from the green button data itself. So let's say this family is trying to save $30 a month. Perhaps they're willing to lower consumption by 15% when nobody is at home. They could achieve this by changing the temperature set point on the thermostat for their air conditioning during those times, which would still allow them to be comfortable when someone is home. The information on the gauges is updated, and their projected savings are $18.73, which correspond to 170 kilowatt hours. The family may consider lowering their energy consumption a bit when someone is home as well, let's say 5%. This brings about additional savings of $10.35, so that the total projected monthly savings are $29.07, pretty close to the $30 they were aiming for. They can test the impact of different percentages and electricity cost by changing the values in these forms.
Thank you for watching this demo of WattAtHome, a web application using green button data and information about your daily schedule to give you a thorough analysis of your electricity usage and then help plan actions for saving dollars on your next monthly bill. The analysis and projected savings are the most reliable when you use your most accurate personal data, such as Foursquare check-in data for your daily schedules. Please go to wattathome.uta.edu to try it out. And thanks again for using WattAtHome.